Gemini, welcome to your monthly horoscope for March 2025. My name is Adeana. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and in this video, we will be going over all of the significant energy you will be navigating for the month of March. Now, we have a lot going on this month. Coming into the month, we enter eclipse season. Actually, just finishing that new moon in Pisces kind of initiates us into eclipse season. We have Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, so we have quite a lot to cover. Quite a lot of changes and quite a lot going on. Now, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you align with my energy and enjoy my content. Now, let's get right into it. So, let's go over all the major transits briefly for the month. So, March 1st, we have Venus stationing retrograde at 10 degrees of Aries. On March 3rd, we have Mercury entering Aries. And then on March 14th, we have our full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo at 23 degrees. On March 15th, we have Mercury stationing retrograde in Aries. And then March 20th, we have the Sun entering Aries. March 22nd, we have our Venus cazimi. March 24th, we have our Mercury cazimi. And March 27th, we have Venus re-entering Pisces. Venus is going to retrograde back into Pisces. So we will cover all these energies a lot more in depth once we get into the charts. And that way you have a visual. Now, March 29th, we have our new moon solar eclipse in Aries at 9 degrees. And we also have on the 29th, Mercury re-entering Pisces. On March 30th, we have Neptune entering Aries. So I will be posting a separate forecast, getting really deep into that energy, but this is definitely shifting the vibe quite significantly. We've had Neptune in Pisces for the last 14 years. So Neptune in Aries is a very different energy. So we will be getting into all of that in this forecast. So let's get into the first week of March. So on the first, we have Venus stationing retrograde at 10 degrees of Aries. And you have Aries in your 11th house of friends and friendships, social groups, online connections, networking. All of the groups and associations you are connected to are in that 11th house. All of the social groups that you're connected to are in the 11th house. So, having that Venus retrograde in the 11th house can have you rethinking friendships or reassessing friendships or something around friendships and social groups showing up that you're having to reevaluate. Now, I will link up here in the video the Venus retrograde forecast that I posted where I got really deep into some of the charts for the Venus retrograde and also all 12 rising signs if you want to know more about the Venus retrograde specifically. But Venus stationing retrograde at 10 degrees here in your 11th house and then is going to move back into Pisces into your 10th house. Now, we want to keep in mind that Venus has been in pre-shadow for over a month. So think back, what events took place or experiences or situations? What really came to your awareness the month of February? That's going to give you an idea of what you will be reassessing and reevaluating with the Venus retrograde. Now, Venus also rules your 12th house of spirituality, things, people, places that are hidden, like hospitals, asylums, retreat centers. Also, hidden relationships can be in the 12th house. Everything goes to the 12th house to hide. Our subconscious is in the 12th house, karma, intuition, spirituality, self undoing, self sabotaging, escapism and endings in that 12th house. So this Venus retrograde can be working with those themes and topics as well. But again, think back the last month. What was showing up for you? What were you navigating? Venus also rules your fifth house of children and creativity, passion, romance. Hobbies, interests, what you do for fun, what you find pleasure in. So, those themes and topics may also be up for review with this Venus retrograde. Now, March 3rd, we have Mercury entering Aries, bringing more focus to that 11th house of friends and friendships, social groups. Keep in mind, Mercury is going to station retrograde the middle of March. So Mercury will be in pre-shadow at this point. Pay attention to the conversations that you're having, the information coming in, intuitive downloads. This can give you an idea of what you will be reassessing and reevaluating during the Mercury retrograde. This area of our chart is going through quite a lot, February and March, and even into April. Even we've had this North Node at 27 degrees since February 8th, and the North Node is going to stay at 27 degrees until April 17th. So there's been a lot of conjunctions to that North Node at 27 degrees. So there's a lot showing up, I would say, the month of March when it has to do with this new direction that you will be taking around your career and public image because you have the nodes in your fourth and 10th house. And the North Node represents something new, something very karmic and a part of your destiny. And I will also link my lunar nodes forecast. At the end of this video as well, or up here, so that you can check that out, where I get really deep into the lunar nodes and how that's showing up for you. But that activation of the lunar node at the North Node at 27 degrees is quite significant. Now, once we get into the second week of March, on the 14th, we have our full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo at 23 degrees. And so this is initiating you into the changes that are going to take place around home, family, property, real estate, feelings and foundation, what you do behind the scenes, your private life. That is all in the fourth house. You have the South Node in the fourth house. So there's something you're either moving away from, letting go, or something coming back from the past. That's what that South Node represents. And so this full moon lunar eclipse is bringing new energy, experiences, or situations or events in to help you understand and realize what those changes are going to be. And Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. Mercury is the ruler of the South Node. So with all this Mercury energy as well, it's tied into the South Node in the fourth house on what you will be letting go of or the changes that are taking place in this area of life. Now, March 15th, we will have Mercury station retrograde at 9 degrees of Aries. And also March 11th, we will have Venus retrograde and Mercury forming a conjunction. So maybe just pay attention around March 11th. What is showing up for you? Were you having any conversations? Did anything kind of stand out when you were communicating with friends or any of your one-on-one connections? Did you receive some type of important information? It's definitely a date to jot down because it can play a part in this whole, Mercury South Node story that will be playing out. Now, once we get to the third week of March on the 20th, we have the sun entering Aries. Oh, and I also want to note that on March 17th, we will have the sun forming a conjunction to the North Node. So I already mentioned we've had a lot of conjunctions to the North Node at that 27th degree point in Pisces. When we have the sun form a conjunction to the North Node, there can be a lot of really beautiful support coming in. To really help shift and change your direction and kind of put you on the path that is more in alignment when it has to do with your 10th house, your career, your public image, public reputation, what you want to be known for out in the world. There's something new. There's a new journey you're taking in this area of life. And when the sun forms a conjunction to the North Node, there can be something really beautiful coming in. So make note of that date as well, March 17th. And then on March 20th, we will have the sun enter Aries. And on March 22nd, we have our Venus cazimi at 2 degrees of Aries. And so this is when Venus and the sun form a conjunction, by exact degree and minute. And this is when Venus is cleansed by the sun. This is a renewal. So Venus ruling your 12th house and your 5th house. There can be something showing up around these areas of life, whether it's insights, support, clarity. You definitely want to pay attention on the 22nd. What is showing up for you? Also, too, whatever you're kind of navigating with this Venus retrograde in the 11th house and 10th house, whatever is showing up around social groups and friendships, there can be, something coming in on this day as well. Then we get to week 4, and on the 24th, we have our Mercury Cazimi, which is when the Sun and Mercury form a conjunction. This is going to be at 4 degrees of Aries. So, this is where we want to pay attention to intuitive downloads, conversations, and information that we are receiving. Conversations with friends or any one on one connections. This is a day we really want to pay attention to our minds, um, our internal dialogue, if that makes sense. If there's anything that kind of stands out, write it down, write it in your journal, because this can, it may not seem significant now, but it may be down the road. Now, on the 27th, we have Venus re-entering Pisces. So Venus is going to um, retrograde back into your 10th house of career and public reputation. And then on the 29th, we have our new moon solar eclipse in Aries at 9 degrees. So this is closing out the changes that have taken place in the Aries Libra axis of your chart. So this is the 5th house and the 11th house. So you have had quite a lot of changes when it has to do with your children, creativity, passion, romance, what you do for fun, your hobbies, your interests, and also friends and friendships, social groups, online connections. There's been a lot of changes. And so with the new moon solar eclipse in Aries, there's something, it's like a final hurrah. There's energy coming in to complete this cycle and story that has played out over the last 2 years, because we've really been in this energy for the last 2 years. And so this is where, yeah, something is coming in. It's like this last hurrah of change in this area of life, this kind of shove in this new direction that you were taking. And then there's like a closing out of this access and energy. Now, also on the 29th, we have Mercury re-entering Pisces. Um, so Mercury is going to retrograde back into Pisces in your 10th house of career and public reputation. Now, also Mercury is your chart ruler. So with this Mercury retrograde, there can be a lot that you are rethinking about your direction and what you need, want, and desire, your thought processes, your mindset. There can be a lot, you know, kind of surfacing that you are having to reassess and reevaluate and get rid of what is no longer in alignment with you. And that will put you on a path that is in alignment with you. Now, on the 30th, we have Neptune entering Aries. This is very significant. We've had Neptune in Pisces for the last 14 years. So, Neptune in Aries is going to be a very different energy. I will be making a separate forecast, getting really deep into this Neptune and Aries energy and going over all 12 rising signs. But we just got to be careful. Neptune tends to blur boundaries, make things confusing. Neptune brings escapism, illusion, deception. So we just have to be, mindful of those kind of energies with Neptune. But Neptune will be in Aries from March 30th to October 22nd. So that gives us a little window, a little sneak peek of what this Neptune and Aries energy is going to bring. So pay attention between March 30th and October 22nd. What is showing up for you around friends and friendships, social groups, online connections, and networking. And that can give you an idea of what this Neptune and Aries energy is going to bring. So, Gemini, I hope this helps you navigate the energy for the month of March. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will connect with you in the next one.